Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hello everybody. My name is Hajar Aswadi from English Education Department, Class A, 2018. I make this video as the mid-test of ESP course and supporting lecture by Adi Isma SPD MPD. And let's begin. Chapter 1. Chapter 1 discuss about introducing the origin of ESP. There are two things will be discussed, that is, what is ESP and the origin of ESP. Well, what is ESP? ESP, or English for Specific Purpose, is the view to obtain the basis that the English needed by a particular group of learners can be identified by analyzing the linguistic characteristics of their field of work or specialist study. Then, the origin of ESP. ESP was created because ELT residents were looking for additional income outside their area. Those who left their area found fertile land, and they also received a good reception in the outside, so they founded a new city which they named ESP. Gradually, ESP has also developed along with the development of the age, such as ESP in education and ESP in science and technology. It is influenced by the demands of the new world and revolution in linguistics and is learner-focused. Chapter 2. The development of ESP. There are some points in this chapter. Well, there are 5 things that influence ESP development, namely, first, spatial language concept or register analysis. ESP here is to identify the grammatical and lexical features of the register where the teaching materials used then take the linguistic characteristics as syllables. The second is outside the sentence, rhetorical analysis or discourse. The rhetorical structure of science text is considered different from commercial text, so that the typical teaching material based on the approach is a discourse approach that teaches students to recognize textual patterns and discourse markers, especially through text diagram exercise. And the other 3 are analysis, the target situation, skill and strategies, and learning-centered approach. Then, ESP non-product approach. ESP, then a language teaching approach in which all decisions about content and methods are based on the learner's decision for learning. Chapter 3, that is course design. There are 4 points that must be considered. You can see on the screen. First, learning design is the process of determining learning objectives, strategies, and techniques to achieve goals, and designing media that can be used for the effectiveness of achieving goals. ESP aims to meet the needs of students. Second, one of the objectives of learning design is to produce learning design, that is, achieve programs or devices that are relevant to achieving certain learning objectives. Third, learning design is needed to meet the needs of students where the goal is to make learning simpler so that it is easy to understand for students. The fourth is in the description of language. There are 6 ideas about language that have influenced ESP, namely classical or traditional language, structural linguistic, transformational generative or TG, language variation and register analysis, functional or national grammar, and discourse analysis or rhetorical. It is important to understand these ideas so that we know how these ideas can be useful in ESP learning. Chapter 4. Theories of Learning. There are 2 theories, that is, theory behaviorism theory, and cognitive theory. Learning theory is the method used to acquire our knowledge or skills. We can adjust our behavior in learning with learning theories, which we think is more comfortable for us in learning. Language learning is added to the way of thinking of observing, organizing, and storing information. Learning theories such as behaviorism theory and cognitive theory. The theory of behaviorism is a theory of learning as habit formation that takes place through strengthening stimulus response. In this case, I think practice is very important. Then cognitive theory has the meaning that students are rotating creatures. The learning and use of rules requires students to think, that is, apply mental strength to filter generative rules and then analyze situations in which applying the rules will be useful or appropriate. The basic teaching theory of cognitive theory in language learning is problem solving. Chapter 5, that is need analysis. There are 4 points in these chapters, that is, learning needs analysis is a series of questions used in the analysis of the target situations, such as why do students take courses, how do students learn, what resources are available, who are the learners, and when does the ESP course take place. The most famous needs analysis is needs analysis according to John Manby, who states that needs analysis is a communicative syllabus design. There are 3 target needs, namely needs, shortcomings, and wants. A target situation needs analysis is a problem of asking questions about the target situation and attitudes to that situation from various participants in the learning process. Learning needs must have mechanisms that are, first, relatively new to student, second, related to the engineering field, third, devices that enable to achievement of new lexis, fourth, the actual devices will operate, and 5 is fun. Then, chapter 6 or the last chapters, that is, approaches course design. There are 3 things that must be considered, that is, learning design is the process of interpreting learning needs data to produce an integrated teaching learning experience. The main objective of instructional design is to lead students to a certain level of knowledge. Learning design requires the use of theoretical and empirical information to produce a syllabus, to select, adapt, or write material according to the syllabus, to develop methodologies to teach material, and to establish evaluation procedures for the progress of predetermined goals. Approach in learning design can be divided into 3 main types, namely, first, language-centered learning design. Language-centered learning design aims to draw directly to the relationship between the target situation analysis and the course content. The second is skill-centered learning. Skill-centered learning design is based on 2 principles, namely theoretical and pragmatic principle. In completing the needs analysis, we will be faced with questions such as what are we going to do with the information we have collected. So, to answer this, we must interpret the data we have collected. Well, the conclusion in this material is English for Specific Purpose, or ESP, is a new approach in teaching and using English for specific fields and studies that are in accordance with the needs of the field of science and the professions of the English users. ESP must be designed to meet the needs of the learner. With regard to meeting the needs of learners, they added that the essence of ESP meeting the needs of learners means focusing on the needs of learners. The goal of ESP is for students to be able to master English in the field they are studying. I think that's all for me. Thanks for watching. It's done, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.